But what I want to do today, and we'll wait for a good handful of people to get here, but I wanted to answer some questions from the chat, from the audience, just about basically anything. Because I've had some people hitting me up in Discord and stuff like that, just about life stuff. Because at the end of the day, honestly, bro, 99% of people that get coaching, they get coaching because they're just trying to get their life sorted out. But it's in the form of Smash. I've talked about this all the time. I've talked about this in the past many times. So it's like, if we want to just cut to the chase here, why not just talk about life? Of course, there are people that actually care about the game and they want to get better at it, and that's obviously why I coach too. But as far as for people that want to just talk for the sake of having someone to talk to, or the behind closed doors, aka in DMs, conversations that I have with people from time to time, there's never anything like bad, but it's more so that people, they realistically don't have a lifeline to reach out to, or they don't have someone that they feel that they can talk to. Maybe they feel that they can talk to me because they don't know me, in which case they can say something to me and it feels fine. They feel like I'm not going to judge them, or like nothing bad's going to happen. I was actually in somebody else's chat and he was talking about how it's so crazy being able to just talk to strangers, and it feels like it doesn't really matter because you can say whatever you want. It's like, okay, well, if you let's say fuck it up, say goodbye forever, it's like it's a stranger, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying you're gonna pour your heart out to them, but sometimes you do. If you have those drunk nights outside of the club, sitting on the curb, eating poutine, talking to some random person till like 4 a.m, it's like, yeah, this is life. And yes, I said poutine, guys, get over it. Honestly, that sort of helped my mentality with Smash be even better. Yeah, bro. That's the thing. The biggest thing about Smash is anything competitive is mentality. Of course, there's a performance part of it and your execution part, and like being strong or fast or whatever, athletic and whatever, all that shit. That's all important stuff. But also, there's people that can literally win because of heart, right? You're winning because you have more heart than the other person, because you want it more badly than they do. Their mindset is, I could win or I could not win. You're just like, if I don't win, this is the end of the world. And that seems extreme, but in a lot of cases, like if the stakes are high enough, it kind of has to be like extreme, so you do care and you do pull through. That's one of the things too, as far as like fighting games or any 1v1 anything, whether it's a sport or a game. If you get put into a position where it's like, I'm losing and there's no one I can turn to fix it or carry me in any way, I'm just screwed. That's actually a good feeling to have, because that means that when you win, no one can say, well, you won thanks to me, or you won because you were carried, or you won because your team is the comp of your team is broken or some shit, you know, something like that. What I want to do too, guys, just for the people that are here now, I made an announcement a while ago saying that I want to start doing like a self-development, personal growth, whatever you want to call it, type of podcast. But as far as a podcast, like when I think podcast, I think audio only, but that's not really what a podcast is nowadays. Podcasts nowadays are everything. A podcast is just audio. So when I say I want to do a podcast and stuff, I want to start doing stuff here and talking to you guys a lot more. What was I saying? Yeah, doing the podcast type of stuff, I feel like I want to just not necessarily like transition away from coaching, but more so I want to spend more time talking to you guys, because I already have a huge community on YouTube and on Discord, and I spend a lot of the time doing whatever I'm doing. It's very one directional. And what I mean by one directional is it's like, I just talk to you guys, but you guys never really get to talk to me. So I want to try and change that and start doing more, I don't even know if you call it a podcast, more so just like discussions. I might cut it up and turn it into videos, like I said. Not everything is going to go on the YouTube channel, because there's going to be a lot of things that we talk about that have nothing to do with anything as far as like Smash or anything like that. But as far as the discussion and doing things here, that's what I want to do. Try and keep it a bit more opened up with you guys. Because here's the thing, to keep it 100 with you guys, it's been roughly 3 years that I've been doing this. Probably actually longer than that if you count like Smash 4, like before Meta is Smash and everything. And most of you guys don't know much about me at all. You know, like the bare minimum type of stuff, like, oh, he plays music and he goes to the gym and he plays Smash and shit like that. But there's a lot more from me that you guys could know. There's a lot more from you that I could know as well too. So I kind of want to go down that route. If we end up having heart-to-hearts, that's great. If we end up going through sorting out people's lives and the other viewers get to listen in or get to read along or whatever it is, and they get inspired, or maybe it helps them in some other way indirectly because maybe they're going through something very similar. Maybe they didn't think of bringing it up. Not even because you're necessarily scared or not, but you just didn't think of bringing it up. And we could do stuff like that too. Another thing for sure too is some of you guys I have coached. Some of you guys I've never talked to as far as like outside of just stream. And I don't know you at all. And you might feel safer, I guess, in that regard, as far as like, oh, he's never even heard my voice before, therefore I can say whatever I want and it's not a big deal. But I don't want you guys to ever feel like you can't say something because I know you too well, or I'm gonna like dox you or something like that. Like for me, it's not. I don't care. I'd rather just get to it. You know, I'm not really here for protecting people's feelings, if that makes sense. I'm more so here for just trying to help you get your life straightened out if you're in that boat, or if you have questions about things. It can be about Smash, like we've always done, or it can be about just life in general. And Craftlock, what's it like being an adult? I don't know. I can say right now, I'm not an adult. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I'm an adult. You can be young at heart, or you can be an adult by age. But I'm definitely not an adult. And when I say that, it's just the truth. Hold on, guys. Gonna have to put the glasses on for this one. So, for me, I would say that I'm not an adult because there's a lot of things in life that I have not done that I do want to do. I think being an adult, as far as like having responsibility for yourself, if that counts, then sure, I'm an adult. But as far as like, let's say, I don't know, starting a family or being married or like having any outer responsibilities outside of myself, that doesn't really count. Like, I obviously, so you said that you're in the 8th grade, you said, right? Craft, I thought you were 15 now. Are you not 15? You're much younger than me. I can say that the only thing that I've done for myself that is very adult-like is take my time to try and build myself up so that I don't have to depend on people. I guess by definition of being an adult, I'm definitely still not, because like I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I'm not stressed out and fucking miserable every single day. I don't have a baby crying in the background. I don't have a wife to take care of. I don't have any of these things to really worry about. And I wouldn't say that classifies you as an adult, but those are definitely components that I would say are part of it. If you're just an independent, you can be someone who's like, let's say you're like 40 years old, no kids, not married, and all you do is whatever you want. It's like, that kind of still is a kid, right? Because kids don't really have responsibility outside of school, technically. And even then, a lot of the time, they don't get that actually matters, so they just don't do it. So, I don't know. I don't think paying bills counts as being an adult. Let's put it that way. I pay for my cell phone. I'm an adult. Okay. Sure. That's how it works. I guess one thing that I've done for myself too is try to go out of my way to ensure that I can live a life that I want to live before becoming an adult is automatic or like the death of you. And I say that pretty deliberately because although having a family and having all these things in life would be a good thing or something that a lot of people strive for, there's a lot of things in life that people want to accomplish first and then they just don't. And then that's if they happen to, say, get married too early or have kids too early or whatever. And by too early, I mean by their standard. Then once you have these things that are like now a part of your life, like let's say you have to like pay for a mortgage or pay for all these things, all of a sudden you don't have time, money, or energy to do anything that you wanted to do. So for me, I'm kind of front loading my life in that regard so that I'm able to do, like, let's say, content creation or fitness or music or whatever I like. And then when it's time to do stuff later, it's like, okay, well, I've saved money and I've built myself up and I've become a better person and I've gotten some skills and whatever it might be. I've satisfied that thirst for conquest, you could say, as far as wanting to fulfill myself doing things before it's like, oh, well, now you're just this guy now. Being an adult can be anything. If you have a house or a car or both, you're responsible. That counts as an adult in my book. Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like, if you have responsibilities to an extent, then you're an adult. But for me, it's deeper than that, because you can have a house and a car and you take care of those things. And that's why you work. But to say like, I'm going to stop acting a certain way because I have people counting on me, you don't have that in your life. So I guess that'd also be like not even being a parent, because if you have a wife, you're not a parent. You're just still yourself, right? Or if you have a husband, either one. I would say that's just part of it, right? Yeah, I have 3 hours of coaching tonight, starting in an hour as well. For me, I'm not really like worried about coaching anymore. Like it's not necessarily a hard thing to me. I think for me with like regards to coaching, I feel like since I've covered so many topics so many different times, so many different ways, I wouldn't say that I know the answer to everything, obviously, but of course I try and go out of my way to be able to articulate things for people in as many different ways as possible so that they can understand, even if their question let's say it's a question I have not answered before. I think that's a huge part. Like, I guess if you want to go back on the topic of what's it mean to be an adult, or a part of being an adult, another huge part of it for me is becoming a critical thinker. Someone who can break things down and problem solve, whether it's a problem that you've come across or not. It's one of the biggest things ever, versus just breaking down and being like, I don't know the answer to this and I'll never figure it out, so we're screwed forever. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be how it is. If you become a critical thinker, like I've definitely done at this point, just from doing coaching and stuff for so long, it's something that now it's like, whenever I have to go into coaching, I never prepare in advance when I'm coaching someone, because I don't really know what they're ever going to ask me. But I wanted to structure my life, or my format of teaching in that way, where it's like, I don't need to know what someone was going to say in advance, because as a conversationalist, I know how to understand and break down what they're saying, and then give them advice that actually makes sense, because the advice that I'm giving them is the advice that I would want someone to give to me. I'd say a lot of the time too, like if you ever tried to get coaching or like advice in Discords, and people either just type up huge paragraphs of shit and it doesn't really make any sense, or people just give you like horrible advice, it's like, they're not necessarily saying something that's wrong, but the way that they're saying it doesn't click with people. And that has to be like the number one thing. It's like, obviously you want to say accurate advice, but if you say accurate advice that makes sense to you and doesn't make sense to someone else, then it's not really useful. And that's why, going back, I said I want to be able to do it as many different ways as possible. Whether I'm pulling examples from video games or sports or music or psychology or dating advice or fishing or whatever it might be, anything at all, whatever resonates with somebody, then that's how it's done. I think also just becoming becoming a conversationalist at its core is having the ability to talk about multiple different subjects or different topics, not super in depth, but just enough to be able to contribute to a conversation, so that even if you don't know what you're talking about, you don't make the other person feel stupid, because now neither one of you can talk to each other because they only know about this thing and you only know about this thing. Therefore, we don't have anything in common. Like, that's one of the biggest things for me ever, is having the ability to talk to literally anybody about anything, even if I know nothing about what they're talking about. Not even because I am super knowledgeable on everything. Like, obviously that's how you do not know what they're talking about. But being able to listen properly and dissect what they're saying, break it down, and then ask proper open-ended questions so that they can actually feel like, wow, this person's listening, and I can actually go on or go off about whatever it is that I'm passionate about. That's a huge thing for me with coaching too. Of course, my students don't really talk a whole lot when I'm coaching. Some students do, and that's totally fine. I have no problem with students talking. Of course, I want them to be able to talk to me as much as they can. But yeah, then other students, they just don't say anything too much, so I have to kind of just carry it on my own, or have to, like, I guess, break down from section to section of whatever we're talking about and format their question or their problem from step A to Z, or whatever you want to call it, so that they have something to either look back to and listen to and understand, or they just understand it on the spot, because again, breaking it down as simply as possible. And Red Army, I appreciate it, bro. I would say, like, that's one of the things for sure too. For me, I think I said this the other day, I am more so passionate about teaching or coaching people more so than the things that I'm actually teaching or coaching. I said in the past as well too, where it's like, the fact that I'm a Smash coach is complete RNG. I could have been a teacher or a coach for basically anything that I'm interested in, of course, not everything, but lots of different things. Yeah, if you have the ability, like I said, to problem solve or critically think, you'll have to know the ins and outs of your topic at least a little bit. But then after that, it's just being able to hear people out and have them resonate with your advice or whatever you're trying to tell them. I've been doing music a little bit less, or actually a lot less. I should say I've been doing music a little bit more as of late, but nothing too crazy. Once again, like, even with music, I've just been kind of too busy with doing coaching and Smash stuff and being caught up with Metafy. I have a bunch of shit that I have to do with Metafy, like, tonight or tomorrow at some point. And it just takes up a lot of time. With music, it's one of those things too, with how deep music is. I really, if I'm going to do it, I want to be as good as I used to be with it. I don't want to do music and just be only okay. I can't stand the fact that when I play acoustic now, or I play electric or anything, that my dexterity and precision overall, or my speed while playing, it's not even close to what it used to be, and it's super sloppy, because I haven't played like super aggressively or super hard things in like years on guitar. So for me, it's like, could I do music? Yes. Do I want to do more of it? Sure. But right now it's like, well, if I was going to do music the way I want to, then Smash or other coaching or content creation or COD or anything else like that's going to suffer immensely. There's just not enough time in the day. It's like, okay, well, if I want to do music as aggressively as I want to, then I have to just like stop going to the gym, so which I'm not going to do, because the gym is more important than anything. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Yeah, exactly, man. And this is the thing. It's not even like a pride thing. I guess you could say it's a little bit of pride thing, but it's more so just frustration, being like, yo, if I just had time to do more of this, I know how good I was. So being this bad is not fun. It feels like a letdown, right? Because of course, it's like when you're starting out, all your progression feels good. But then if you get to a super, super high, and then you like, let's say something happens in life or you quit or you get other interests, then you go back down to like as good as you were when you started, or like a little bit higher than that. But it's like, okay, I was here, or I am here now. This is my constant if I don't practice, but I have been here. So this feels like a letdown. Meanwhile, you're still pretty good compared to most people on Earth. Yeah, if you're only able to paint or do whatever your hobby is or your interest is once or twice a month, holy, and that shit is, it makes you feel like it's like going to the gym once a month. So this is just painful. This isn't enjoyable at all. And I'm not getting any results. All I'm doing is going to the gym to get sore and then just going home. It's like, all right, sick. Like if you do legs once a month, might as well not do legs, because it doesn't do anything. It just makes you like feel like you're gonna die all the time. Yeah, I think with regards to picking up your own skills and or I think with regards to picking up skills in general, you really do want to, at least for me, you want to try and strive to be as good as you possibly can. Whether or not you end up being world class or the best in the world, whatever you want to say, it doesn't really matter. It's more so that, like, and I've said this a million times, it's more so that you don't want to do anything in life just enough to be terrible at it. What's the point of this? There's a reason why I don't play volleyball, for example. Because if I play volleyball, I want to be good at it. I don't want to play volleyball just enough to be bad at serving, bad at spiking, bad at setting. I can do everything, but I'm shit at everything. So no, I'd rather just not do it. That's how I feel. It's good to hear, bro. And that's the thing too, is, with regards to fitness, it's not always going to be a one size fits all, because for some people it's like they really, really like to go as hardcore as they possibly can, so they go like the CrossFit route or the bodybuilding route. And there's other people that are like, you know what, I'd rather do like calisthenics or just body weight exercises in general, and then that's their idea of fitness. Some people want to do yoga, other people want to do running, some people want to do a sport. Like some people say their fitness is rock climbing, for example, which seems like very foreign for a lot of people because it's not something a lot of people would pick. But you'd be surprised that if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. And if you enjoy it, then you'll stick with it for a super long time, if not forever. Like for me, if it was never cold here, and it's another one of the reasons why I want to move, I would run or do battle ropes or hill sprints all year round. I would never stop, because there's no reason to stop. It's one of the easiest things in the world to do. Battle ropes has zero impact or stress really on your joints or your bones. Like it's not like you're putting yourself under thousands or hundreds of pounds of pressure from like squatting or doing deadlifts and shit like that, where you can actually hurt yourself really badly. Battle ropes you can just do every day if you want to. Several years ago I did do that. I did 90 days battle ropes every single day, and I got absolutely shredded, and I was never sore or never tired. It's like I just found the secret formula for myself to stay healthy and in shape. Thinking about getting back into sports myself. Here's the thing, once you get to a certain age, I will say that the dream of becoming a professional athlete is just going to be over. Like for me, obviously I'm miles too old to be thinking about, oh, I'll go to the NFL one day or some shit like that, or the NBA or anything. There's no chance. But to just stop playing because you have no reason to think you're going to get to the NFL or something like that, it's not even the case. Join a rec league or like an intramural league or like a co-ed, something like that. Anything like that. If you enjoy the sport and it keeps you in shape, it's like, oh, I'll say, for example, some people do not like running long distance, but they have no problem playing soccer for 3 hours. If you play soccer for 3 hours, you probably did run 10K, probably more, but it just didn't feel like it. And it's probably actually harder because you're doing bursts of sprinting and changing direction. Battle ropes test how much you can push yourself. Yeah, I would say if I was to compare battle ropes to anything, I would say battle ropes is sprinting with your arms. Literally doing a 100-meter dash with your arms. That's all it is. And it's fantastic. I can only run in the winter because it's always 90 degrees in summer. Yeah, I can believe that. For me, bro, when it's winter here, it's like minus 28, which is super down bad. Minus 28 for you guys, that would be like, well, 32 is to 0 for you. So it'd be under 32. It'd literally be like 20 or 25. Something crazy. I don't know. It's probably wrong, but it's close to that. It's tremendously down bad when it's cold here. Not worth. I've been starting calisthenics earlier this year. Feels good. Yeah, bro. I can say calisthenics is one of the hardest things in the world to do. Because as you get stronger, you get heavier. More often than not. Unless you're tremendously out of shape. Like if you're like very, very overweight. If you start doing calisthenics, you'll actually get better at it because you'll lose weight as you're doing it. But if you're like a skinnier guy and you start doing it and you start to like put on size in your like your chest and your shoulders and your abs and your back. If you start doing stuff like that, it's like, okay, I am getting stronger, but also getting heavier. So the intensity just feels very, very consistent. So like even just trying to do like a muscle up, for example, or like trying to do like a certain type of push up, it's like, yeah, I can do it, but like this does not feel like I'm getting stronger. But then you look at yourself and your gauge should be your mirror more so than your scale or even the numbers that you push. I think honestly, like I was thinking about this the other night, that realistically, I do want to get into body weight exercises more than anything eventually. And I kind of already have been transitioning into that as far as like just doing running and hill sprints and stuff like that. I know it's not really a body weight exercise, but like I don't squat and do deadlifts and stuff like that anymore. I used to try and care about all the numbers and shit. Like I have to be able to bench 300 pounds. Like, but for what? Just to do it? It's like, yeah, I just want to be able to say it. It's like, okay. But yeah, running when the weather is optimal is obviously going to be optimal. What do you mean by that, bro? What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
I would say in the summers, still for me too. Like if I could go to a place where it's like ultra omega hot, like in Florida, when it's like everyone else is staying inside because it's like a heat wave of death, that's when I go outside the most. Like when it's here, crazy enough, is it actually gets insanely hot here. It gets to a point where it's like 96 degrees, and for me, it's like this is perfect. I want to go outside and run up this hill with no shade for an hour plus. Also, yes, sir. The alpha mentality, bro. We're all out here just trying to get swole. Plyometrics. I used to be big into that too, bro. I used to do the most box jumps in the world. That's all I used to do. When I was back in high school, bro, this is technically not a box jump, but the way that our high school was set up, there was the gym, like the basketball court of the gym, and then there was like a stage where they would do like drama shit and announcements and stuff for like assemblies and all that. And along the edge of the stage was padding. And it was just for like when they play like intramural hockey and shit like that or whatever. And I would just stand at the on the floor and jump up onto the stage over and over and over again every single day because I was weird as hell. But that's all I did because I was trying to get like faster and stronger for football and track. Forever. That's all I did, bro. Box jumps until the end of time. Holy. I want to start to go to the gym personally because I'm tired of being heavy. I lost almost 100 pounds or something like that from dieting, walking, and gained it all back. What do you recommend I start doing first as a newbie in the gym? I was going to say congrats on losing the 100 pounds, bro. And if you gained it all back, I'm assuming something happened in life that put you under in some way. So I'm sorry about whatever you're going through if something is happening. If it's school, if it's life, if it's some sort of traumatic event, because that sort of gain doesn't happen out of nowhere. And I would know. When shit goes super sideways for someone, they didn't just say fuck it more often than not. I'm pretty on point with that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. But I can say if you're someone who's relatively new, you should start off doing what you have already done as far as like getting your diet in order first. One of the best things that I've done as far as getting my diet in order is buying a rice cooker, which sounds hilarious, but a rice cooker changed my goddamn life, bro. One of the worst things you could be eating on a daily basis is bread. And the number one reason is because bread just sticks to your body forever. And it's very high on the glycemic index, turns into sugar immediately, and you do not feel full when you eat bread. So you just it's basically pure sugar as well. People don't think of white bread as sugar, but it literally is. It doesn't taste like sugar, so people kind of write it off as like, oh, I'll have sandwiches every day and I'll be chilling. It's like, no. I cut out bread. I'm actually 1 month and 3 days of no bread for myself, and I've just been having rice and sweet potato and asparagus and I don't know what I said like that, asparagus and chicken basically every single day for the last month, and I feel substantially better. So if you can do anything at all, number one thing you should try and do is cut out bread. But as far as cutting it out, you also have to know how to substitute the speed of your diet without feeling like this is work. Number one reason why I'd have bread every single day or bagels every single day is because it was fast. Not even because I liked it, not even because it was cheap. I just wanted to be done and over with eating. I had zero interest in cooking, zero interest in cleanup, zero interest in, oh, I forgot to make food, so I guess I'm just gonna not eat. It's like, no, I'm eating something, I have to do something fast. So I just have bread, bagels, basically every single day. So cutting that out, if you're someone who is very heavy on bread, like if you're someone who has like, I don't know, it's not really fair for me to say this because like I don't have any addictions or cravings of any kind, basically ever. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't eat candy, I don't like have cake or pizza or anything like that. And it's not even because I'm choosing, or no, it is because I'm choosing not to, but it's not because I have to do it or something like that. It's not like I'm making myself not want this stuff. It's just like I just don't. Like, here's the thing. If someone were to offer me ice cream or candy or cake or pizza or any of these things, I'll have it. Of course I'll have it. But I'm not going to, like, just go to the store and buy a thing of ice cream because I have the money and the independence to just be able to do that and say, who cares? It's not even willpower for me. It's just like, I just don't want to. So if you're someone who's more so worried about, like, those types of things, one thing you could look into is this, like, sugar substitute. What the hell is this stuff called? It's not like not like fucking Splenda. That's not what I'm saying. There's this food that is made with different types of sugar. Stevia is one of them, but there's something else specific. I bought some of this the other day. By that I mean like a month ago. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to find it later. It's like some special fruit. It's like a green fruit that's made. I don't know what the sugar's called. I can't remember. Yeah, monk fruit, that's the one. You got it. If you can have monk fruit sugar, that shit will change your goddamn life. There's a fitness channel. This guy does a lot of stuff that's very keto heavy, but his advice and just the way that he breaks things down, this guy's an actual Chad. He knows so much shit, it's insane. This guy's name is Thomas DeLaury, I'm pretty sure, or Thomas Delore. I'm not sure if he's French or whatever, I don't know. But he's actually, bro, I'm not gonna say I watch the videos all the time, but I do watch them a lot when I'm looking things up. Or he's like my go-to source of reliable, not gonna sell you some bullshit during his thing. Oh, just buy this random thing and you'll be chilling. It's like, no. He actually hooks you up with some very, very solid advice on especially your diet. He does do some workout stuff, but he's mostly about your diet. Let me see if I'll just type his name in the chat. There, that's his name. Hacker Cop, my diet sucks, always eating processed foods and shit. I always want to eat healthier. I think one of the biggest things too that you want to try and take into consideration with regards to eating healthier is you should actually time yourself when you cook to see how long it actually takes. Because for me, the number one reason why I didn't want to cook is because it took fucking forever. At least for me, that's how it felt. It's like, I don't want to sit here or stand here and cut up all this shit and then sit and do this. I want to be working. Like, that's for me what it was. It's not that I want to be playing video games and doing nothing. I want to be working, putting out content, working on videos, labbing for videos, whatever it is. That's what I wanted to be doing. So I want to go from the gym to be able to eat immediately to then start going to work. Versus being like, come home from the gym and then cook for an hour. It's like, what the hell? I don't want to do this. So like with a rice cooker, you can just turn it on and leave. When you get back, your rice is done. It's like, all right, sick. Then if you have to steam vegetables, that's like 5 minutes. Asparagus, you literally cut the ends off, throw the whole thing into a steamer, or not a steamer, like into a pot that has like the separation so you can steam them. It's done in like 5-10 minutes, done. So now, obviously you want to eat more than that, but that's one of those things too. Same thing, like if you want to have chicken or whatever, you can cut up chicken, or you can just get like a big thing of chicken for like $15 or $10. Cook all of that, and you have food for like 4 or 5 meals. And another huge lie is people believe that eating healthy is more expensive than not. It's like, nah, bro. If I can get a thing like this of chicken for $15 and I can have that with asparagus and rice and sweet potato or whatever I want for like five meals or like 2.5 days or whatever, it's like, so $30-ish, not even, for 5 meals versus McDonald's $12 for 1 meal, right? Or pizza $10, $20, whatever it is, for 1 meal, goes straight through you and you feel like garbage. It makes you overweight and it's more expensive. So it's an L on every single level. I'm so skinny right now. My metabolism is fast as fuck and I'm eating junk. My cholesterol is through the roof. I have 1 sip of energy drink and I'm in a coma. Damn, bro. I don't know the truth. I don't know what you should do about that specifically. But I can say that if you feel like you're eating a lot and you're not gaining weight, I would say look at complex carbohydrates more so than just eating fat and sugar. Because like if you're someone who's eating, like let's say you're someone who is like just blessed with a really good metabolism, so you are eating McDonald's and cake and ice cream and pizza, all this type of stuff all the time, and you just don't gain any weight, I would say it's more so in that case if your metabolism is high, you're just using all of that stuff as energy and as sugar, and since there's no nutritional value, it doesn't stick to your body at all. So it's like, okay, there's nothing to gain from keeping this, so I'm just gonna burn it and then toss it. So it's just energy. But also, if you're someone who's not really working out that much, or if you don't work out at all, then your body doesn't have a reason to really keep any muscle mass on. Also, depends on how old you are too. Love to cook and I love to eat. Making healthier food has been super interesting. I used to spend about 40 minutes a day cooking and prepping. Now it's even less. If you cook and you like it, then you're blessed, bro. Because a lot of people, including myself, don't like it. Not even because it's hard, but it's just like, I just don't want to do it. I'd rather just not. I think I've talked about this in the past. If I could have any sort of passive superpower ever, the number one thing I'd like is to never have to sleep, would be number one. But then number two was to never have to eat. And the reason for both is the same. It's because they're both a waste of time, in my opinion, even though you have to do them. But that's good though, bro. If you're someone who likes to cook and you like to get creative, whether or not you do like culinary crazy shit or not, but like just you like to cook in general and you like to not just cook the same thing over and over again. Like you want to try like seafood one time, and you'll do a steak another time, then you'll do like a casserole, or you'll do some sort of pasta thing. If you like to do that type of stuff, then by all means keep going with it, bro. Cooking takes time that I could be in school or do stuff in the workshop. Yeah, that's just how it is. I can say this as well, that we've also been very heavily programmed by society to believe that we have to move at a tremendous pace to keep up with the rest of the world. It's put everybody into a state of shambles, essentially, thinking that I have to do everything as quickly and as fast and as well as possible. And it's to your own detriment more often than not, where it's like, well, I'm trying so hard to keep up with everybody else, but everyone else is doing the exact same thing, and now everyone's just falling behind. And everyone kind of just looks towards social media as the poster child of how life is supposed to be, where it's like, okay, if I want to be famous, or I want to be making six figures, or I want to be in a ridiculously good shape, or anything like I see on Instagram or on TikTok, this is what I have to do. It's like, but these people have a team around them, and these people are also just taking snapshots of their best moments in life, and these people might even be on steroids, or these people might have thousands or millions of dollars in advance to already be able to just portray that they've made it, so that when you yourself try and do the same thing with either zero knowledge of that situation or of that environment that they have, or you just are unprepared, you start to panic and be like, I'm wasting my life, I'm doing all these things wrong. And then that's how you kind of just turtle and then end up doing nothing or becoming depressed.